What's good, guys? We got the GOAT of music back here once again, man. We got Oliver Anthony, man, the GOAT of folk music, the GOAT of Appalachian music, the GOAT of every single music genre for the last 2 weeks anyway. We got Oliver Anthony, man, Mr. Christopher with the same name as me. Much love to Chris on Joe Rogan. And the title of this video is called Unexpected Success and Backlash from Richmond, north of Richmond. I reacted to that video. Much love to my American supporters. I love you all. From one Irish man to all my American supporters. That video blew up. 42,000 subscribers, 40,000 views. A lot of subscribers to like 1,000 subscribers. So I know a lot of American supporters are hopping on board. I love you all. Thank you so much. This one should be incredible, man. I love seeing a new person on Joe Rogan, a new big country singer. Joe Rogan loves to talk to new and interesting people, guys. You know, he doesn't just talk to anybody like Logan Paul was complaining, you know, Joe Rogan won't have him on the show. Forget about Logan Paul. We're talking about Oliver Anthony today. This one's going to be amazing. Hit that subscribe button if you want to support me. Leave a comment down below. It helps the algorithm, and I reply back to every single comment personally. Let's get it. Come on.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And you're going to have to deal with that soon. Because I guarantee you, there's going to be some people that are making some CGI.
Oh, there are. There already
out
are.
there?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
What is that? I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with a lot just because, you know, I'm doing... So anything social media related right now, or any internet presence I have right now is coming from me off the phone, just like before everything blew up. So I haven't invested the time to like look at everything circulating, but people like friends and family have sent me stuff, and some of it's pretty funny, but you know, they've got all these different AI remixes of the song with different voices and overlaid different faces and all, and it's funny to see where it's going to go, you know.
That is funny. Yeah, you're going to have to deal with that. My daughter sent me some advertisement. She goes, "Did you do this advertisement?" I'm like, "Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not really my voice."
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it is my
the
voice,
day after the day after things blew up, one of the towing companies had an ad on Facebook that had it wasn't really me, but it was a red beard and like the side profile of sunglasses looking out the window. I'm like, okay,
how dare you?
I guess I've made it anyway. That's when I realized like people are already ripping things off. And what's crazy is like every shirt that I've worn anywhere in public, there's a organization that I'm not like officially related to or in any way have done anything with, but it's a friend of a friend in the neighborhood. It's called Nets with Vets, and they take out veterans with PTSD and let them go deep sea fishing. And so he asked me last minute just to wear his shirt at one of the concerts. And you know, now there's like 1,500 listings online for counterfeit Nets with Vets shirts. And so the organization reached out like, "Hey, are you like making shirts ripping us off?" And it's like, it's not me. So it's like it's a weird thing. But I've already experienced.
Yeah, so they're already ripping them off. And shout out to Oliver Anthony. I'll let this play through, but I just want to say a couple things. Like, this dude looks the most Irish guy I've ever seen in my life. The ginger beard. He looks like 5 of my friends from from Galway. At least 5 friends. But also, I love the way he's so well spoken. And not to sound insulting, but a lot of the times when you hear people that do country music in Ireland, anyway, there's a stereotype where, like, you know, if a guy's from the country, I'm from the country, guys, or whatever, you know, from Galway or, you know, Kerry or Donegal, one of these places that isn't Dublin, a big city, major city, then you think that the guy is basically a culture, right? They call him a country guy, or what do they call him in America, like a hillbilly, or like redneck or whatever, or white trash or whatever. So like in Ireland, people just call it culture or, you know, whatever, guys. So it's so cool to see that he's so well spoken, very educated guy also, you know what I mean? That's a real key, you know. The fact that he's well spoken is probably another reason why he's blown up, guys. You know, he's able to articulate himself well. Very, very knowledgeable guy. So I love this, guys. Oliver Anthony is a king. I love it, guys. Come on.
It's a lot of that stuff. Not so much on the AI side, but just, I don't know, the internet's just such a rowdy place, you know?
Oh, it's so rowdy. The world's a rowdy place.
It is, and maybe people bring their best and their worst on the internet. Yeah. Like, I've always tried to stay off social media as much as possible, but I've learned very quickly that like Twitter and Facebook and stuff like you see comments and feedback from people, both overwhelmingly positive that maybe you wouldn't get in a personal conversation, but also like overwhelmingly negative too, you know?
Yeah.
People just use that as a vent that they just take whatever seething hatred they have inside of them. They're like, "Oh, I'm getting that guy with it," you know?
That's very true, guys. You know, he's a very smart guy, like I said. You know, I'm not saying that from the first look the guy looks like whatever hillbilly. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I'm just saying the overall feel, the overall, you know, thought of what people go through is when they see a guy playing country music, he must be an idiot, he must be stupid. Well, I love that he's not, guys. He's showing people that, you know, I'm a freaking smart guy. I'm going to show you guys what's up, you know?
Who had a song just about love that resonated like that, it would be almost impossible to hate you. But you have a song where you're talking about how people are fed up with shit, and it obviously resonated. I mean, I've seen songs go viral, but that's pretty bananas, son. your shit went to the moon right away. And God, I'm not sure who sent it to me. I'll have to find out who sent it to me, because it's one of those things where, like, once one person sent it to me, then it was like dozens of people were sending it.
Dude, one of my friends, shout out Christopher Hurley, I love you, brother. He sent me the video that night, and I wasn't going to post it till the morning, and I was like, you know what, it's like America time now. Let me post it now. Blew up. I had 10,000 views by the morning. Like 12,000 views. It was crazy.
Yeah. It's funny because originally that song wasn't it wasn't really even in my top 5. Like, it's not normally the type of song. I've written songs with similar messages, but as far as that sort of, like, I guess anthem format is what people are calling it. It's like an anthem. Like, that's not something I would normally write, but
it's an unlikely anthem.
Yeah.
You know, insane times. It would be an unlikely anthem.
Yeah, I had no idea that song would react the way it did.
As an artist, you never really know what video is going to pop off. Most of my videos that I've popped off my channel, 300,000 views, I didn't even know they were going to pop off, guys. So you just got to put stuff out there, see that people like it, whatever.
At least in my case, I think the one thing that's helped me too is that my singing isn't the best, but I've never had any, like, vocal lessons or anything. So the way I sing is just the way I sing. And so, like,
his singing is amazing. Every single person unanimously that has watched the video has said that his singing is amazing. No matter what, even if they don't like the message. And he hasn't had any vocal lessons. This is ridiculous.
I think even the same way with her and other people, it's like, it's maybe rough around the edges. It could be a little pitchy, or it's, you know, you're not using the right part of your face when you project and whatever. And so, like, on paper, things aren't quite right. But I guess to another human, it's like, it sounds right, because it is what it is, you know?
It's authentic.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right way to do anything. I mean, it's like you see it in everything. There's a person who violates the rules, and they're the best at it.
and then the rules almost morph into whatever that is. Like, it's funny, like with music. Yeah, music has, country in particular, but music in general has gotten way too wrapped up in, like, this algorithm of how many beats per minute it needs to have, and how many verses, and how they need to be layered. And it's like they've almost created this sort of, like, industry standard, like OSHA rule book of how music needs to be performed. And so, like, you can only do that so many thousands of times before people are like, okay, what else is there, you know?
Well, people like that too. That's the thing. There's a lot of damn people. There's a lot of people. The problem, I think, with a lot of people is they want you to like what they like. And if you don't like what they like, what you like sucks. It's funny like that, man. We're so tribal. We are tribal with our cell phones. You know, we're an Android or PC. You know, Android people
brands,
have to stick together. It's like we're so weird. We're so weird, but we're like that with our musical taste. We're like that with our cultural sensitivities, or our cultural sensibilities, rather, like the way we feel about life and how life should be. We want everybody to kind of think along the ways that we think.
That's true.
It's very strange. And when a person like yourself gets labeled a right-wing, left-wing fanatic, like right out of the gate,
both in like a week and a half, then yeah, at least I know I'm doing something right. Like, to me,
yeah, that's how I find on the internet, on YouTube too. I get called right wing, I get called left wing, I get called everything. So what am I? You know what I mean? You don't really know, because you're just everything. You know, everyone gets called everything on the internet. It's ridiculous, guys.
They're looking for your Biden campaign contributions now. They're going through your fucking taxes. The whole thing is so bonkers, man. Like, can't they just accept that you made a great song and people enjoy it?
Yeah.
Why does it why do people have to attack?
Well, I think it's just, for whatever reason, I'm the subject matter the last couple of weeks, and you know, in everyone's defense, I probably haven't. I've waited for this opportunity, I guess, to really have a real conversation with somebody about whatever it is I am. So people are just trying to find who's this Oliver Anthony guy, and what is he, and where does he work, and who did he vote for, and what's his family like, and yada, because they want to sort of build this
character
image of whatever it is that the person behind the song represents, for better or for worse.
Right.
The people who
super smart guy, you know, knows right off the bat, very self-aware. I read a study that said 75% of people aren't even self-aware of what the hell they're doing. So very, very self-aware guy, you know, to say that they're building this character, you know, this image. Oh, did he vote for this? Did he do this? Where does he live? Da da da. They're trying to build this image of you. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Image of whatever it is that the person behind the song represents, for better or for worse.
Right.
The people who agree with it want to, you know, I don't know. It's really funny to watch on my end, because obviously I know what's true and what's not, and so like just even what I've skimmed through of people sending me like like singing at the Super Bowl, like how many people have formed an opinion about whether or not I should be paid to sing at the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not singing at the Super Bowl. That's just somebody made up. But you know, there's been hundreds of hours of people's time wasted probably talking about all these little like things that don't even exist. It's just somebody made them up and put them on the internet, and so I'm just letting them ride. I think it's great.
It's wild.
I just think it's great, like that. At least the last couple of weeks, I've been able to entertain everyone and get everyone's mind off like all the other horrible stuff that's going on in the world right now. Like,
that's why I love Oliver, and he's saying that with a smile on his face, guys. Trying to get your mind off a lot of the horrible stuff. That's what I do this YouTube for. And my fitness advice, you know, the fitness advice is a lot more serious, you know, because fitness ain't a joke. But this YouTube channel, we can have a joke, guys. You know, we can have a joke.
At least everybody can have a good laugh, you know. So,
well, I mean, it's a subject of discussion. So, like, everybody is getting involved, and then somehow or another it became cultural. And then there was Dwight from The Office.
Oh yeah,
He chimed in that if he was going to write a cultural anthem, what did he say? Something like he wouldn't write about overweight people on welfare. He would write about billionaires and their taxes.
yeah.
There's nothing funnier than millionaires talking shit about billionaires. There is nothing funnier about millionaires pretending these billionaires are out of touch.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, take Dwight from The Office down to West Virginia. You know, take him through those coal mining countries. Take him through those places in Appalachia where people have extreme poverty and pills have ravished those areas.
Yeah,
Take him.
he said, why don't they care about miners, you know, they say he talks about miners in the movie, you know, that the West Virginia, that's where they had a lot of coal miners, and then they took the coal back. I learned that from the last video, so thank you to my American supporters. Like, you know, amazingly powerful images that he's portraying to us.
They're there.
And it's everywhere. Yeah, the sad thing is it's everywhere now. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. People right off the get-go, I guess because it was Radio WV that posted the original video, but like I've never once advertised myself as being necessarily from the mountains. My grandfather grew up in western part of Virginia, in the mountains, but I'm from Farmville, which is technically Piedmont. But even throughout rural Virginia, that poverty is a big issue and drugs are a big issue. And I mean, it's not just even in the rural areas. You go into downtown Richmond or any downtown anywhere for that matter. It's almost like, these problems exist everywhere now and I think, I mean, obviously they are, because that's why the song resonated the way it did.
Yeah.
The problem.
It resonates with the working class, guys. You know, living in Ireland, guys, like I said, I'm from the countryside. People aren't super wealthy and stuff. Some people are. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of people don't have much, guys. Homeless people, you know, it's really bad. So, and Ireland isn't a very rich country. It is on paper, but for the local people just working, you know, in the shops or whatever, that's not that rich of a country, guys. So it resonates with a lot of hardworking people. You know, your dollar ain't worth S. You know, what does that mean, guys? You know, because of inflation, the euro isn't worth anything. So
problem for me was, I knew that I needed to do this. Like, I knew I needed to. I procrastinated with music a long time. I mean, I'm 31. I've been playing guitar and singing on and off since I was a kid. Like, my grandma was in a band years ago, and so like I remember as a little kid, what got me interested in all of it was going, you know, Dukes of Hazzard when I was a kid. I was like 5, and I used to sit with my grandma and we'd sit and watch Dukes of Hazzard and watch Waylon Jennings pick that guitar. Of course, I had no idea who Waylon Jennings was, but that just like, I just fell in love with that. And so grew up listening to like that 70s country, and she loved all the old stuff like the 50s and 60s and even in the 70s, even, you know, Janis and all that. And so like she really introduced me a lot into music when I was a little kid. And so like I just kind of held on to it, but never pursued it the way I should. And then I'd play at a bonfire party, or I'd play at whatever, it's a friend's house, and everybody's like, man, you got to do something with this. You don't want to waste this talent you've got and whatever. And that would almost make me feel even shittier, because I'm like, oh man, I suck. Like, I'm such a piece of crap for not doing something with this. And
wow, that's amazing. So he's saying that he didn't pursue it like a dream, guys. And like a lot of the things in life, you know, you're kind of guided towards the dream. You're guided towards that image that, whatever you say, the universe or God is telling you to go towards. And a lot of times you kind of swerve off course, but I think you should follow those internal instincts in your gut. Like, where am I good at? I started this YouTube channel. I immediately got like 3,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have kept this going if I wasn't getting a good following, if I wasn't getting a good sort of feedback from the supporters, from the comments, from you, because the subscribers, because if I didn't, guys, I probably would have stopped a long time ago, because I think that when you have positive reinforcement about something that you're doing good, you're making money from it. Number one is which I'm doing. I'm doing this full time now. Thank you so much. All these different things that are pushing you towards a goal, it's very easy to get involved. But he said he didn't have anything like that. But he had the talent, guys. He obviously, guys, let me tell you something. Whether or not you're going to be a famous singer right off the get, because that's one of those things, like entertainment, you can become an entertainer anytime in your life. Like this YouTube channel is easy to do. But something like Oliver Anthony, that's singing, that voice, that tone of voice that resonates with people, the music, the actual sound of the guitar, very, very tough, guys. Unless you have that talent, right off the bat, you should know. Like, you should have a lot of people saying to you, yo, bro, you're class. And I know people in my life that have had that, and they will blow up eventually, but it just takes time, guys. Just stick with it.
So yeah, like when I was outside of work, it's like I'd drink, I'd get just absolutely stoned, and I would just sit around and try to think about anything but what it was that I really needed to be doing, which was like, and so it's kind of like funny, but that's ended up what kind of sparked me into like writing all these songs and doing all this stuff, because it's like I don't know, just like with you, probably with what you do, jiu-jitsu or whatever, it's like for me, songwriting it gets my head, like you said, getting your head clear, because that's all you can, songwriting is interesting for different people, but now that I've been in the industry for 2 weeks and I've talked to like,
now that you've been in the industry, you conquered it.
Now that I'm an industry expert, it's like some of the other musicians I've talked to, like the people I've looked up to over the years, they experience this too, but certain people, when you songwrite, it's a very, it's dramatic.
Yeah.
Like,
do you write all your own songs?
Yeah, but it's
guys, it's amazing. He writes all his own music, no ghostwriter. Like he said there, guys, he used to just wake up, get stoned, and he's just working. If you're not trying to build a business, guys, it's very hard just going outside pumping petrol at your local petrol station, or like I was doing sales. You're trying to think about what job you can do, guys. You need to think about what I can do for money that I love to do myself. When you're doing that shit job that you hate, you're not thinking about ways to make money and build businesses, okay? You're thinking about, the next customer and trying to be charismatic with the next customer. You need to think about how to build money for my purpose, okay?
Have you been accused of not writing your own songs?
very early on, yeah, because since I guess it's not even my stage name, it's Oliver Anthony Music, and so it's supposed to represent music from, Oliver Anthony Music is my grandfather, and so he grew up in the 30s in the mountains and used to tell all these wild stories about how life was back then, but the music's just sort of a characterization of like that period in time and those people, and that's... So yeah, when
so your real name is not Oliver?
Christopher Anthony Lunsford is my real legal name, and so that's what's on like if you look up the songwriting.
Why did you decide to sing as Oliver Anthony? Just in
well, like I said, I just had the YouTube channel listed as Oliver Anthony Music, just because like that's sort of the demeanor or the, like I said, the character I was like that older Virginia style music. Mm-hmm. Like if you go on YouTube and you look up that type of music from back then, like those old recordings of people, like that's what I just love, that type of stuff.
Do you think you're going to keep that name?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still call me Chris, and I've posted on social media, call me whatever. I mean, I've been called a lot worse than either of those things, but yeah, it'll stay Oliver Anthony Music, awesome. Indefinitely. Yeah, it's a special name, and it's a special name to me not only because it was my grandfather's name, but it's sort of like, to me, it reminds me of how different things were back then. But he was born Oliver Anthony, but everybody called him Anthony growing up, and so like he always thought his name was Anthony Oliver, and last name Engel, and so like it wasn't until he was in his 60s and going to retire he realized that his name didn't match his birth certificate, so he had to actually change his legal name when he was in his 60s. But it's because
he thought his name was Anthony Oliver.
Yeah, and so
his whole life.
But his legal name was, and so it's and his parents named him. So it's just like, but all the paperwork back then was so scattered up because a lot of people were illiterate, and of course documents weren't tracked as well as they are now. You know?
Dude, this sounds like Ireland. It sounds like you grew up in Ireland.
And so
I
it's
see.
like,
Yeah.
there's people in the family that have a different spelling and it's the same last name, but a few letters are different and stuff. But it's just kind of cool. Like, but he just thought that was crazy. He had to change his name when he was 65 so he could draw his retirement and all because his social security and everything was under a totally different name. But
That's
so
crazy.
it's just special to me. He's like the only other one in the family like me. Most of our family's like average height, 6 feet and under, but he and I were both, 6'6", redheaded, left-handed. Like I don't know. In a lot of ways, I thought it was special to kind of respect him. He passed away in 2019, and that's kind of when I.
Damn, I can't believe he didn't live to see this, because 2019 is so close. And he's 6'6". That's a giant. Goddamn.
I guess that's when I first kind of adapted the name for the music. I didn't really get serious with anything until probably
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, until a couple weeks ago. Probably until I think I uploaded the first original. Like when I decided I was in it to win it, and I really wanted to make this thing happen. It was probably May of last year when I uploaded "Ain't Got a Dollar," or it might have been "Rich Man's Gold" was the first one I uploaded on YouTube. But that's when I decided, like, all right, I'm doing this thing. But yeah,
So you were just smoking too much weed, drinking too much, and just procrastinating.
yeah, and so that, and like. Anxiety is definitely something that's underestimated. I used to but I used to just not really understand when people talked about mental health and anxiety, because everyone gets stressed out over stuff, and so you think of anxiety as being just like this normal phenomenon everyone deals with, but your mind can really put you in a dark place to where that thing it just holds on to you like a and it just makes it very difficult for you to do anything. And so I spent at least 2 years of my life almost constantly just having what felt like just a knot right here, just wrenching at me.
Well, that's especially true for people that are pursuing a non-traditional life, that doesn't have any guarantees. It's a wild life to try to be an entertainer, like
That's what I'm trying to do.
just to choose to try to make it in this wild world of people that are singing and making songs, and you want people to pay attention to you. Like, do you know how many fucking people are singing? How many people can sing? How many people are recording things? And now with YouTube and the like, how many people are putting stuff up on the internet for other people to enjoy? It's a lot. The idea that you're going to stand out. So that you're filled with anxiety just because of that, because this future's uncertain.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of the anxiety came from me just feeling like I was running out of time.
Me too, guys. Like, I feel like, oh man, that last part was the most powerful. He's saying a lot of people doing the same thing you're doing. Like, the anxiety, you should have this anxiety every day, like, that you want to get better, want to do better. I record about 5 videos a day, guys, but every video has to be better than the last. I want to do the best I can and keep pushing, because it's a lot of uncertainty. You're competing against everybody in the world. I'm competing against other YouTubers. It's an amazing life, man. I love you guys all. Stay with me on this journey. Hopefully we can grow together. This one should be crazy. I'm doing a lot of live streams, hopefully soon, so leave in the comments. I don't know what you guys want to see next. I'll respond back to all of you, and I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.